NBA All-Star Weekend is a joke, and it has been for a long time. From superstars opting out of the dunk contest to the non-competitive All-Star game, and especially this year, the All-Star game being the least watched edition ever. Can this be fixed, or does the weekend need to be canceled forever? Started back in 1951, the All Star game has been a staple for NBA fans and players alike. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were advocates of this game and expressed that they would like this game to be played competitively each year. Unfortunately, the game has been regressing rather than improving ever since those guys left the league. Now, not to say that the NBA has not tried. In 2018, they did introduce the drafting of teams, where the top vote getters in each conference, East and West, get to pick their team from a pool of players, voted on by fans, media, whatever. And it was cool for a while to see Team Steph, Team LeBron, Team Giannis. But honestly, it has been getting a little old, and I don't believe that it has done everything that they would like it to. And in 2020, they also introduced a target score. This was to foster some more competition. The first year of that installment, it was great. That game was very competitive, ended on Anthony Davis free throws, a very entertaining game to watch. But after that, though, it has started to decline, and it still has become a layup line, a dunk contest, and a three-point contest all in one. And we're seeing incredible scores, but no real good games being played. Despite all these innovations, the ratings are still declining. What can be done? Now, not all of NBA All Star Weekend is bad. Let me be honest here. The 3-point contest is honestly a staple of the All Star game, and I still believe that it should continue to be a part of it. There's very little innovation you could add or detract from the 3-point contest to make it better or worse. It's just people shooting and see who is the better shooter. Now, me personally, I would like to see Damian Lee or Utah Wannabe, some of the best shooters in the league, competing in this contest rather than Julius Randle. Let's be real here. But honestly, this is probably one of the things that I would not change a thing in NBA All Star Weekend. Now, concerning the skills challenge, another little nugget of NBA All Star Weekend, I believe that should be nixed completely. It's embarrassing for these NBA players, and I think it's somewhat disrespectful. The big old hoops that they have in order to throw a pass into, I could throw a pass into that. Like, it's disrespectful for these people who have been working on their craft for so long to have to throw into that big old hoop. It's disrespectful, and I don't think it should be a part of NBA All-Star Weekend. Now, one of the best part of this past weekend's All-Star game was the dunk contest. And, there was creativity, there was insane athleticism being displayed, and overall, it was just a fun experience. But this is not sustainable. This dunk contest was an anomaly, and it had a great story that propelled the fun of this dunk contest. Mac McClung, who is the first G Leaguer ever to be invited to the dunk contest, put on a show. And most people recognize him from high school, and that's why most people tune in to watch the dunk contest. Sadly, though, they had to wade through highlights of Jericho Sims dunks. The corny dunks with the both elbows in the rim, where he grabbed a piece of paper and it said a 50. Suffice to say, that dunk was not a 50. Now, I find it funny that McClung, was the first G Leaguer ever to win, or former G Leaguer ever to win the dunk contest, and the second white guy ever to win the dunk contest in Utah. Let that sink in for those who get it, those who don't. Now, honestly, this is something that is entertaining. I think Mac McClung's a great dunker, and I'm glad that he was in the contest, but I believe that we could get some other people. If LeBron and John Morant are not willing to participate in a dunk contest, let's invite other people that work on dunking who are in the NBA, like Jordan Kilgannon. Those people that work on dunking as a craft. That's like their job almost. These people that practice this day in, day out, rather than just practicing basketball. Imagine a contest between Mac McClung and Jordan Kilgannon. Imagine the creativity, the athleticism being displayed, and honestly, the innovation of dunking. It would be such a great thing to watch. And honestly, I would tune in to watch that every single day of the week. Now, along that same line of thinking, in order to prove the NBA All-Star game, I believe that we have to reach for players who are not in the NBA. I'm talking about the players that you find at Rucker Park, Venice Beach, Jackson Park, or even Berry Farms in Washington, D.C., and invite them to compete on the biggest stage. Now, I'm not talking about park players versus NBA. That's unfair. NBA players would dominate because that's who they are. But I'm talking about the park regions versus each other. I'm talking the North versus the South, or the North versus the East, North versus the West. These competitions between these regions. People who say, New York basketball is the best, or Los Angeles basketball is the best. Let's put it to the test. Let's see which region's basketball is the best. Now, big cities being represented: Chicago, Miami, New York, LA, Washington D.C. I'll even throw in my hometown Phoenix in there. It's a pretty big basketball town. Honestly, let's watch all these guys compete. It would be so entertaining to watch. And now I believe that these players could be drafted or even coached by NBA players from that region. For instance, Anthony Davis could coach the North team with his hometown Chicago, or Donovan Mitchell could coach the East team with his hometown in New York. You could still have the NBA players being involved without having to compete in the All-Star game. And I think it would be great for both the fans and the NBA players alike. Now, in my dream NBA All-Star weekend, there's going to be 2 games played on on Saturday. And that's going to be one, either the East versus the West, North versus South, etc. And then the other team plays each other. So you have one game, and in between that, you have the 3-point contest, and then you have the other game. Now, on Sunday is when the real magic happens. You have the Rising Stars game to start off. So you see all the young guys from the NBA who still want to compete, showcase their skills. Even those guys from the G League, they show out their skills in Rising Stars game. Then in between that game and the next game, you have the dunk contest, which is probably the main event of NBA All-Star Weekend. That'd be a fun main event to see. A lot better than a Post Malone halftime show. Sorry, Post, but it just wasn't the best. We were looking for basketball. And then after the dunk contest, we will see the championship between the 2 regions. Now, obviously, there will be a cash prize involved. And so these players can get some life-changing money, donate to charity, whatever. But I believe that in order for us to foster more fans and to get more support for teams, I think we should honestly sponsor regions. Like for me personally, I'm from Phoenix. I'm from the West. I will definitely rep a West jersey to support my region. I believe a lot of people too will put the test to see, hey, is New York better? Is Los Angeles better? Let's put it to the test. Let's see which basketball is the best. Now, All-Star Weekend was designed to celebrate the sport of basketball. And I believe my way is the best way to do that, along with giving players a break from the grueling 82-game season. I hope this video was enjoyable for you guys. My name is Nate Mendez. Thank you for watching this installment of the Box Out Podcast. Until next time.